Hello and a warm welcome to News Central Studios. I'm Felicity Ezewike. The top stories at this hour. Youths protest high cost of living in Oyo State. APC youths take over Edo State Party Secretariat after governorship primaries. Eswatini activist Similani granted asylum in the UK. We have details for you shortly. We begin in West Africa, where some Nigerians have staged a protest to express their displeasure over the high cost of living and harsh economic realities across the country, calling on the government to address the hardship to forestall a state of emergency. The protesters, who converged on Mokola Ibadan, Oyo State capital, carrying placards with various inscriptions and songs of agitation, say they will peacefully move across some major streets in Ibadan. They appeal to all concerned Nigerians to join the solidarity movement, as the people cannot continue to endure what they describe as an unbearable pain. The police public relations officer, Oyo State Command, who accompanied the protesters, says the police is focused on guaranteeing safety both for the protesters and other Nigerians, and to ensure other people with ulterior motives do not hijack the protest.
The whole country is hungry. We just need their intervention. We do not want to fight with them. We are not here to cause any problem. We're just here to tell the government our problems, that they should just look into this for us. That they should please look into the problem of the masses. Help us. Have mercy on us. People are hungry. People are dying daily of hunger. Insecurity is killing people. We just need them to help us. They should just help us. They should just look into our case and be of help to Nigerians. That's just all we need.
Nigerians have the right to hear their opinions. And we cannot say because we are here today, we must not allow every other Nigerians to exercise their constitutional duty. Section 34, 39 and 40 empowers every Nigerian to organize a peaceful assembly and to speak about the economic hardship. On this note, this is not today's own.
Our people have the right to freedom of assembly as it is, but our duty is to ensure that it is not hijacked by unscrupulous elements. And if caution is not taken, which is why we are here, to ensure that we provide the intelligence and, of course, the physical support to ensure that this.
We'll definitely circle back to the state of the economy, but a bit of politics now. More drama continues to unfold in the Edo State branch of the All Progressive Congress APC, as the youth arm of the party has taken over Party Secretariat building in Benin City, the Edo State capital. This followed the confusion that came after the party's primaries, where factions of the party announced different winners of the primaries.
If we are doing election, if it's only one person that will emerge. Out of 100, it's only one person that will emerge. Yes. One person have emerged, the election was conducted peacefully. Even when they try to go on all other cockaboo primary, we did not allow them. With the youth, we are telling you this is our time. And the youth has emerged. Anybody that's going to change it with the youth, we will resist him. Yes. Because party is supreme.
Yes. West side.
We all voted with our registration. Yes. We cast our vote for Dennis Idahosa. Yes. Since they are trying to sabotage the youth, we will not allow it. And I'm a youth leader, for God's sake.
Yes, sir.
The person that just won this primary is just 43 years.
Yes. Youth o'clock.
This is
Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has returned to Abuja after a 4-day official trip to the capital of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, where he participated in the 37th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union, the AU. While in Addis Ababa, President Tinubu, among other things, was appointed by the AU as his champion for human resources for health and community health delivery partnership. He also joined other African leaders to propose solutions to the common challenges facing the countries, as well as deliberating on refocusing the Continental Organization for better service deliveries in various areas, including healthcare, commerce, and security. The Nigerian government has initiated the long-awaited payment of withheld salaries to members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The development was confirmed by Professor Gbolahan Bolari, chairperson of ASUU at the Federal University of Technology, Minna, on Monday. This move follows President Bola Tinubu's approval in October 2023 to release 4 out of the 8 months withheld salaries owed to university academics. The salaries were withheld during the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, who implemented a no-work, no-pay policy in response to an 8-month strike by university-based unions in 2022. This development comes as a relief to many academics who have endured financial strain due to the prolonged salary withholdings. Bandits have allegedly killed a divisional crime officer, DCO, in charge of Zumi local government area of Zamfara state and burnt down the police station. An indigene of the area, Mohammed Ibrahim, said that the bandits, who were in large number, invaded Zumi town, the headquarters of Zumi local government area of the state, around 5 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, carrying sophisticated weapons. Ibrahim said immediately the bandits arrived Zumi town, they went straight to the police station where they began to shoot sporadically, which resulted in the killing of a DCO and wounded other police officers, then later set the police station on fire. The Lagos state government has commenced the cleanup of shanties occupied by squatters under the Obalende Bridge in the Etiosa local government area. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, disclosed this on his X handle. News Central's correspondent, Bettina Uweli, reports.
Over the weekend, on Saturday morning, the Lagos state government commenced the cleanup of shanties occupied by squatters under the Obalende Bridge in the Etiosa local government area, after a 4-day ultimatum to commercial drivers and squatters under the bridge to vacate their shanties and move any unlawful motor parks to the state's recognized parks.
During Ambode time, Ambode moved on with a project in this place for his first time. After he didn't have the second time, they stopped the project. We are pleading to Mr. Governor now, let him, if they started this project, let them start it and finish it, because of the security of the life of our children and the community is very critical.
This is the 3rd time that the government has demolished here. We are not happy the first time because it was condemned. During the time of Fashola came here, he refurbished it. When Ambode came, Ambode demolished it. To this time, it was Ambode that demolished this ground to this time, and it was never been repaired. That was why all those touts have their chance to come in. So if government has demolished this place now on Saturday, if they didn't repair it, such a thing is going to happen again, because they will start rebuilding their houses.
In a similar development, after a 5-day quit notice, the government destroyed and cleared illegal shanties occupied by squatters under the Ijera Bridge and announced its plan to convert the area to a recreational space. According to Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, there will be different kinds of recreational activities created under the bridge, and nobody will be allowed to live or sleep under the bridges anymore, a move that has equally caused worry amongst market vendors who are used to selling their wares there.
Inú ọgbà tí wọ́n fún wa yìí, a dúpẹ́ náà bí wọ́n ṣe bá wa wò ó, torí pé gbogbo àwọn ọmọ kọ́mọ tí wọ́n wà níbẹ̀ yẹn kò táwa gan lọ́rùn, tí wọ́n ń ta gbó, tí wọ́n mú kó lò nǹkan kan yẹn, tí wọ́n bá tẹ̀ láti bá wa lé àwọn ọmọ yẹn gan dànù sef, ó tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn kí wọ́n bá wa lé wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo àwa táwa ń bí ìbàyẹ̀ oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ni gbogbo wa, àlówó ṣọ́ọ̀pù lọ́wọ́ ló fi di pé à ń jókòó lẹ́sẹ̀ títì.
The third time they say is a charm. It is hoped that after this third round of demolition done by yet a third governor, there will be no need for a fourth round of demolition at Obalende Underbridge. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Many thanks, Bettina. The Nigerian Red Cross says that over 20 million Nigerians are suffering from acute hunger and malnutrition and has called on citizens to support efforts aimed at providing relief to them. The Red Cross, while announcing a partnership with Nigeria's EcoBank, says it is hopeful that it can reach out to Nigerians with means to support their cause. Amadine Uyi tells us more.
With the recent rise in inflation, more and more citizens have been drawn below the poverty line. While Nigeria's National Bureau of Statistics says that inflation has risen to almost 30%, the Nigeria Red Cross has also raised an alarm over the increase of citizens lacking access to food and regarded as acutely poor.
Today is a day for us to think about what we can do as individuals to help people who are suffering from the impact of this increased vulnerability, particularly here in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, a dire hunger crisis is currently affecting the lives of many people. It is a situation that demands for immediate attention and collective efforts to alleviate the suffering of those affected.
The Red Cross, while partnering with EcoBank Nigeria, says that it is hopeful it can reach citizens with means to provide relief for Nigerians in need.
We are particularly delighted to partner with the Nigerian Red Cross Society in this bold initiative. Nigeria Hunger Crisis Emergency Appeal to reach out to 1,092,030 people.
Many Nigerians who have the ability, who have the means, even in this harsh environment, that they become generous, that they open up their heart and partner with Nigeria Red Cross to collect resources and allow Nigeria Red Cross to respond to this crisis.
In joining forces, we aim to raise funds locally to address the persistent needs of our communities. The funds will be directed towards providing multipurpose cash for emergency relief and recovery, prioritizing healthcare, nutritional support for pregnant and lactating mothers, water, hygiene and sanitation initiatives, and livelihood to reduce disease and other infections.
The Red Cross says that it is also hoping to reach about 18,250 households across 11 states of the nation. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
We're on a very short break. The news continues right after. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. 15 of the 20 candidates who were approved to stand in Senegal's delayed February presidential poll have called for the new vote to be held no later than April 2. President Macky Sall, whose term officially runs out on that day, announced the postponement of the February 2025 vote just hours before official campaigning was due to begin. The move plunged Senegal into its worst political turmoil in decades. Last week, the top constitutional body overturned the decision. However, it has left open the question of whether the election will be organized before Sall leaves office or if the ballot will feature the same candidates. All right. Earlier, we brought you news that bandits have allegedly killed the Divisional Crime Officer, DCO, in charge of Zumi local government area of Zamfara State and burnt down the police station. We also told you that an indigent of the area, Mohammed Ibrahim, said the bandits, who were in large numbers, invaded the town and went straight to the local government area around 5 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, carrying sophisticated weapons. He said immediately the bandits arrived at town, they went straight to the police station where they began to shoot sporadically, which resulted in the killing of a DCO and the wounding of other police officers. They later set the police station on fire. To discuss this, I am joined by former chairman for the prosecution of armed banditry and related offences, Dr. Sani Shinkafi. Thank you very much, Dr. Shinkafi, for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.
How does the security crisis in Zamfara affect people's daily lives? Are there certain areas or groups that are more affected?
Yesterday is a Black Sunday in the history of Zamfara State, where the group of armed bandits in large number attacked a headquarters of Zulu local government, killed many innocent people, kidnapped unidentified numbers of people, burned down shops, killed a DSP police officer, and burned down the police station and other vehicles, and cut away some valuable items. So the group of armed bandits, which was headed by Black, who is also an indigenous of Zulu local government community, lead the numbers of bandits in the local government headquarters of Zulu local government, which lead to the burn down of the police headquarters in Zulu local government. And today also, it's another tragic day. In the morning, a group of armed bandits invaded Maradu local government and killed 8 persons, and 1 person is still missing in the Maradu local government. So what I'm trying to say now, Zamfara is not safe. Zamfara is under siege. Mr. President should save our lives and declare a state of emergency on security. Nowhere is safe in Zamfara State.
Any idea why these bandits are coming with so much weaponry? Any idea why they are choosing to attack these communities?
What I heard in Zulu local government, the newly inaugurated security outfit that is called Askara Zamfara. There was a rapid response call that armed bandits.
All right, I think we have a little problem with Dr. Shinkafi's network. We'll try and stay with him for just a second longer and see if we can reconnect. Doctor, if you can hear me, could you conclude your thoughts?
I'm hearing you well.
All right, we lost you for a bit. Go ahead.
The reason for the Zulmi attack, there was a report from eyewitness who said that this security outfit, which were newly commissioned by the Zamfara State government, called Askara Zamfara, like vigilante group, there was a distress call that an armed bandit invaded a community. And this security outfit were able to exchange fire with this armed bandit and killed 3 of the armed bandits and arrested 2. Then the armed bandit went and reorganized themselves, wore the new uniform of the security outfit, come and invaded the headquarters of Zulu local government, and which resulted to the killings of police officer. 1 police officer was killed, who happens to be from my local government. This DSP. And the whole police station was burned down. And today also, I tell you, it's another tragic day.
Quite unfortunate what is happening there. I know you've called out to the president to come and rescue the people of this state, but what is the immediate government there? I mean, the governor and security agencies, what has been the reaction to these yesterday's morning and today's morning's attack?
They have been saying it time without number. The security agencies are inadequate. They are fully motivated, and they don't have modern equipment to fight crime and criminality in this difficult terrain in Zamfara state. I have said it time without number. The security in Zamfara state are overstretched, and they lack equipment, and they don't have artificial intelligence device to track down these armed bandits in their hideout. And the government need to come off very well as a matter of urgency, the federal government as a matter of urgency to deploy more adequate security personnel to save our dear state from the nefarious activities of these armed bandits and the
Dr. Shinkafi, if you can hear me, I just want to throw this last question before we let you go.
Under siege, authorities.
Doctor, if you can hear me, the network is pretty bad, so let's see if we can just get you on this last thought. Some have argued that the violence in the north is as a result of mainly poverty and lack of education rather than purely criminal activity. Do you agree that this is the case? While government is working to address security challenges, should they also work towards improving the quality of lives of the people?
One of the attributes of the insecurity in the northern Nigeria is the bad governance and bad leadership on the part of the state governors. During the inception of these administrations, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they have been giving money from the federation account in trillions cut across the 30 states of the federation, including FCT. But because of bad governance and bad leadership, the governors are artificially importing poverty, unemployment, corruption, and the total neglect of our people, of the downtrodden masses. Every responsible government must be people-oriented, must be inclusive, and they should be ready to provide good governance. So these are some of the contributing factors that mitigate the uprising of insecurity in the northern Nigeria.
All right, Doctor. Let's hope that something is done quickly. Thank you very much for speaking with us. All right, coming up, Eswatini activist granted asylum in the UK. We'll tell you more about this story and others after the break. Do stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. The news continues in southern Africa. After having fled the kingdom of Eswatini over 2 years ago, former member of parliament Nduduzi Similani has been granted asylum in the UK. Similani, a pivotal figure in the unrest in Eswatini, sparked by demands for democratic reforms in the landlocked monarchy, has been in hiding since he heard that a warrant of arrest had been issued against him by King Mswati. However, Eswatini government spokesperson Sabelo Dlamini denied that the arrest of MPs were ordered by Mswati. Meanwhile, back in his home country, civil groups and citizens are still pushing for change, and there is pressure to conform to a repressive political system that has led many to poverty. To discuss this, I'm joined by President of Swalimo, Nduduzi Similani, and spokesperson, Swaziland Solidarity Network, Mfana Futi Nsela. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. We'll start with you, Similani. How has it been since you have been in hiding for this long, and how do you feel about being granted asylum in the UK to avoid the arrest in your country? Mduduzi, if you can hear me. All right, I think we also have Fan, let me see, Mfanafuti, if you can hear me, kindly acknowledge. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me in your TV station.
It's our pleasure, and thank you for agreeing to speak with us. What specific changes are you advocating for in Eswatini's political system?
What we're advocating for is a democratic dispensation. Like there's nothing more, nothing less, just a democratic dispensation. That is what we're advocating for, because as you may be aware, that Swaziland is an absolute monarch, which means all of the powers, the executive, the judicial, and the legislative powers, all of them are vested in one individual, an elected individual, which is the king. So when we say that we are advocating for democratic reform, what we are saying is that the system, the current system of dictatorship, it needs to be dismantled so that we can have a pure, genuine democratic dispensation that's just like in any other country in the world.
What kind of support have you been getting for this fight?
The support, I think the support, it has been a lot of support. The support is, first of all, the Swazi people. I mean, it has been shown, that the Swazi people want their freedom. So the main support, the most important support is from the Swazi people, but also the international support, the solidarity of people all over the world is also what has made the system to be, not to things to be the way they used to be before. So they're scared now because the plight of the Swazi people now, it's like an international, like everybody is talking about Swaziland. So the support is across board, all over the world now, everybody knows about Swaziland. And there's a lot of support, both within civil society, but also even like some official, like our government, they have already been questioning or like calling for the Swazi government to change or to move to democracy.
Activists like yourself, activists like Semilani, who has now been given asylum, have faced some sort of fears about their safety and security. Is there anything that's being done to ensure that folks like you are not unduly persecuted?
I think the unfortunate situation is that part of the struggle for democracy or for freedom, there will always be that you are fighting against a system, like a very powerful system. And when the system is under pressure, the only thing that they can resort to is repression. So it's there may be efforts to minimize, but the only thing that they will resort to the regime when it's under pressure is repression. So as you may be aware that the king, after realizing that the majority of Swazi people are rejecting the system, he had to resort to other people from outside the country, like in particular, like some mercenaries from South Africa, the Afrikaner mercenaries from South Africa, white, and also like some from Congo. So that is one of that is just like some of the things, because currently the dictator doesn't even trust his own security forces. So there will always be, will always be difficult for people who are struggling for democracy. But at the end of the day, there are no people who have fought for freedom and not attain it. The question is, how long will it take?
Yeah, I think that would take me to the other question I had in mind. Where are you in this struggle? Do you think you're making progress? Do you think that you're waning the excesses of the monarchy? Or do you think you still have a long way to go?
It's not an easy question to answer, because I think the situation, the regime has already, like now, it's now illegitimate in terms of internationally everybody knows that it's not a legitimate government or system, because people have seen that when everybody in the world have seen that when the government was under pressure, it ended up resorting to killing the Swazi people. So there is nothing that they can say that they are still have got a mandate of the Swazi people. So that is what is at least giving us the hope or the comfort that we know that the regime is going to fall. It's just a question of when, but it is going to fall. They're no longer governing the way they used to govern now. They are under pressure, and also they are seen from outside, they are seen as illegitimate.
All right, Fana Foti, thank you very much for speaking with us. We appreciate your time and all the best to your people.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
We apologize for the connection with Mduduzi Similani. We hope to have him in our subsequent bulletin. Let's now move to North Africa, where at least 10 people were shot dead in Libya's capital as the UN mission in the war-scarred country on Monday called for a prompt and thorough investigation. Libyan media reported that more than a dozen people died in the shooting on Saturday in a villa in Tripoli's Abu Salim district, without pointing to who was behind the killings. The incident happened on the 13th anniversary of the popular revolt that ended Muammar Gaddafi's 42-year dictatorship, which sparked years of war and turmoil in the North African country. The UN support mission in Libya said on X that it condemns the violent incident in Abu Salim area, Tripoli, on February 17, during which at least 10 people were reported killed, and that it continued to monitor the situation. You're watching News Now. Still ahead, Sweden proposes new sanctions on Russia for rights violations. We'll bring you details after the break. Join us again. During an official visit to Warsaw, Swedish Prime Minister offers his condolences to the family of Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny and proposes a new and separate sanctions regime for Russia in response to human rights violations. Alexei Navalny's widow had earlier on Monday accused President Vladimir Putin of killing her husband and vowed to continue his work 3 days after he died in a Russian prison. Her video address came as the Kremlin said an investigation into his death was ongoing and his mother was denied access to his body for a third day.
Let me first begin to convey our condolences to Alexei Navalny's family and to all those people tirelessly advocating for a political change inside Russia. The Russian authorities and President Putin personally bear full responsibility for his death. Russian officials must be held accountable and responsible, and Sweden would propose that EU consider introducing a new separate sanction regime for Russia in response to the violations of human rights.
Ukraine has launched an investigation into allegations that Russian forces executed 8 unarmed Ukrainian soldiers after they took control of the city of Avdiivka. The Security Service of Ukraine, under the guardians of the Donetsk Regional Prosecutor's Office, on Monday opened a pre-trial investigation into the alleged killing of unarmed prisoners of war in Avdiivka and the village of Vesely. Under the procedural supervision of the Donetsk Regional Prosecutor's Office, A pre-trial investigation has been initiated into the violation of laws and customs of war combined with premeditated murder. The reforms in Nigeria's fiscal management is still ongoing. The Central Bank of Nigeria last week announced that cash payment for personal and business travel allowances would no longer be allowed. The directive was conveyed in a circular address to all authorized banks, signed by Hassan Mahmood, the Director of the Trade and Exchange Department. Dr. Josh Bamfo, partner and head of the Transfer Pricing Services Practice, Anderson in Nigeria, evaluated the short-term outcome of these reforms.
So there are a number of measures. This travel allowance issue is just a measure to improve transparency and accountability. But I think the bigger question is whether the shift from, a more fixed exchange rate regime under the previous administration versus the more flexible exchange rate regime that this current administration is implementing, which of these two actually is inuring to our benefit, both in the short term, what we are seeing right now, as well as in the long term. And what you will see if you are focused on, the exchange rate stability, then there's a tendency for you to think that maybe the measures that the Central Bank of Nigeria is implementing right now is actually not working. Because when the current government took over, in June 2023, we all know that the dollar was equivalent to around 450 naira in the official market, and in the power market, around 650. By December, you look at the official rate, you had already notched a dollar to over $1,000. End of January, it was around 1,450. As of Friday, power market is around 1,670, and official rate is around 1,535. So that is the bigger question that is on the minds of people, whether all these number of policies and circulars that are going around to bring efficiency in the forex market in terms of forex coming through the official channels and also taking away restrictions in terms of demand for forex, is it actually achieving the type of exchange rate stability that we're hoping for? And the clear answer in the short term is no. In fact, it's worsened.
The Lagos state government has issued a warning stating that homeowners who are found to have rented out their apartments for excessive prices may face penalties. The State Commissioner for Housing has said residents of various state housing schemes have filed complaints about the high rent being charged by homeowners, adding that the state government will withdraw allocation from culpable homeowners. Legal practitioner Liboros Oshoma shared his thoughts.
Measure sale of land. And so imagine now you're also having to contend with the cost of cement. And what the landlord does is the fact that he built the house for today and he wants to make all the money that he has invested in that house in 2 or 3 years. Also, there are lack of mortgage facilities where, mortgage companies would build and you can buy and begin to pay, gradually, depending on your income. All of these facilities are not available. We buy land, we buy properties as if we're buying yam from the market, as if we're buying a piece of tomato from the shop. So when you do that and you put all of your investment in a real estate, the tendency for you to want to recoup your investment also in 2-3 years, will be there. So there are so many factors that determine the prices of properties. Why it is good for government to regulate, to put its foot down. Government also need to do, like I said, do beyond regulating. Government needs to provide opportunities. Are we encouraging mortgage facilities? The answer is no. You have the Federal Mortgage Bank. You have a lot of people that have subscribed to the Federal Mortgage Bank and they are still waiting for allocation. Building societies are no longer available. People put their money in real estate. Go to Orchard Road, where people have built houses. And how are they selling? You sell, you want your cash immediately. You want to go into another investment. Even the government is not regulating these buildings, indiscriminate building. Now they are demolishing, which is also good. Why do you demolish a property and then you leave out the man who gave the approval?
The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has cleared Nigeria and all Super Eagles players of any wrongdoing during the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. The Super Eagles impressed at the AFCON, playing 7 matches, securing victories in 5, drawing 1, and experiencing a lone defeat. However, CAF's investigations did not find any infractions on the part of Nigeria and the Super Eagles players. Contrastingly, AFCON winners Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, and 2021 champions Senegal faced the disciplinary acts from the CAF Disciplinary Board. The board convened to deliberate on various matters and decided to impose sanctions on Mali and Cote d'Ivoire, specifically related to their knockout round clash on February 3rd. Following the conclusion of the 34th edition of the CAF AFCON, the focus has shifted to the next edition, with the preliminary draw of CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 scheduled for Tuesday, February 20 in Cairo, Egypt. The draw will be conducted at 2 p.m. local time. The preliminary round of the CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 will include the 8 lowest-ranked teams according to the FIFA ranking: Somalia, Djibouti, South Tome, Chad, Mauritius, South Sudan, Liberia, and Eswatini. The matches will be played on home and away basis during the FIFA window of 18 to 26 March 2024. The 4 preliminary round winners will join the 44 exempted teams for the group stage. The Italian and his backroom staff have been dismissed by the club's board. He leaves following Sunday's 1-0 loss away to 10-man Brest in League One. The result leaves Marseille 9th in the table with just 7 wins from 22 matches. Gattuso's exit comes after the shutdown of any hopes of European qualification after the defeat to Brest. Speaking after the match, he admitted, "We've hit rock bottom. When we hit rock bottom, you have to take responsibility. It is my responsibility. There is nothing else to say." Gattuso had only been appointed by the French giant in September on a deal until the end of the season. However, he managed only 9 wins from his 24 matches across all competitions. Marcel also failed to win any of the Italians' last 7 matches as manager, including defeat to Lyon and exiting the Coupe de France. And that's all at this hour, but before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Youths have protested high cost of living in Oyo State, Nigeria. APC youths have taken over Edo State Party Secretariat after governorship primaries. We also brought you news that Eswatini activist Similani has been granted asylum in the UK. Would like to hear from you. Please send your eyewitness report to the number showing now on your screen. You can follow us on social media. That's at News Central TV. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you very much for watching.